So what happens is, once we open up our hearts and we try to tap into that better part of who we are, that soft, juicy stuff in our heart, it usually takes big catastrophes, big, wide ranged events, to help us reach our limit. We all seem to have our limits. The interesting thing, though, is that as we open up our hearts, as we open up more and more to life and to all the different things that go on, um, it's the big events, it's the big catastrophes that tend to wake us up. Those are the things that just, whap, slap, as my friend Carol used to say, whisper, tap, slap. We're often whispered to, like, hey, watch out for this, this is gonna happen. And then whisper, then the tap, hey, you better watch out. And then comes the catastrophe that wakes us up, the big slap, whisper, tap, slap. And it's the little things that catch us off guard, though, right? It's all those little events, all those little things in life that catch us off guard. We're just every day something little will pop up. It could be something that your best friend or one of your family members tells you, and kind of wakes us up. Those little things that catch us off guard. But keeping in mind that no matter what size of the event that happens to us, whatever the size is, or try to imagine a color, a shape, a form that this event comes into play. I've talked a lot about that, where it's like, give it a color. So when you're in a certain mood, or somebody rubs you the wrong way, give it a color. Try to describe it. Try to get into it. And the point of all this is leaning towards it. A lot of the teachings of many different teachers, one of my favorite teachers would be um, Pema Chodron. That's Pemachotron. Pema Chodron. She's a Zen. I don't know what you call it, guru, a Zen nun, a Zen expert. I know she's a Buddhist, but I know she mentions a lot about different religions around the world. Anyway, she has wonderful, wonderful books. One of my favorite books was When Things Fall Apart, Hard Advice for Difficult Times, which is a really, really good book to read. If you struggle with things emotionally and you're really stuck and you're trying to get past a certain point, especially if you're a woman, because she definitely, obviously relates to men and women. Obviously, I read a lot of her stuff, but, if you're a woman who's stuck and you have a hard time getting intimate advice, she is definitely a go to Pema Chodron. But she talks a lot about that, about giving things size and shapes and colors. And her point is always leaning towards the discomfort of life. Um, and seeing it clearly rather than trying to protect ourselves from it, because that's what we do. We're always trying to protect ourselves from being hurt. We're trying to protect ourselves from anything, right? We're trying to avoid discomfort and we're trying to go towards pleasure. And that's one of the primary reasons that most people um, get into addictive habits, and that's what's so wonderful about, meditation practice in the martial arts world, especially the gentler arts, like parts of judo or parts of Tai Chi and Qigong and yoga and all these different types of practices, particularly meditation and prayer, your prayer life can be life changing because it helps you see things clearly. And what we need to do is stop being afraid of things. Whenever things get tough, when people rub you the wrong way or there's something bad that happens, we tend to run away from it. And you don't want to do that. You want to run towards it. You want to go towards it, and I know we want to protect ourselves, but you ever notice how afraid we get about things that aren't even real? We're afraid to confront somebody. We're afraid to, now granted, we don't want to tell anybody off. We never want to, get into a heated battle or an exchange, but standing up for yourself can be actually a very peaceful thing. Kind of sounds like this. I never thought of it that way. I don't agree with you. Or you could say, the way you're talking to me right now is making me feel very uncomfortable. So I'm going to have to walk away here, just peacefully walk away from it. And sometimes you don't owe anybody anything. Sometimes you just walk away. Just say, I'm going to hang up the phone now, or I'm going to walk away, and just you walk away. But there's ways to do that, but don't be afraid. And no matter what's going on in your life, don't be afraid of it. Go into it. This is how we learn about ourselves as well as our human heart, right? Instead of running away from it and being scared of it and locking up and what happens is when we lock up, we enhance our problem and we continually make it worse because we're avoiding it. We have to go into it. I remember when my mother was dying, it was a very difficult time, obviously, but I remember specifically thinking this, and that's why I said it. I thought it when I told it to some of my family. I said, go into it. Don't be afraid. Walk right into this. It's a very valuable, sacred thing. Being there in the midst of this passing from human life to spiritual life. It's very, very precious. Go into it. Don't run away from it. Um, I've read about it. I've been in seminars and I've had teachers tell me that for so long. So now I get it. I get it. Going into it. I mean, what better way to learn something, right? Right. Imagine if you're trying to learn, no matter what it is you're trying to learn, but you go into it. You want to learn how to be a skydiver or a scuba diver, or you want to learn how to design something on a computer or whatever it is you want to do. You have to go into it. You have to learn it. And this is what we need to do is learn it and expose ourselves to greater bits and pieces of education so that we can learn and grow. That's why I read things by Pema Chodron or Joyce Meyer or Joel Osteen or Eckhart Tolle is learning and growing, educating yourself, surrounding yourself with these key factors of these things that are going to help you grow spiritually, emotionally, mentally. So that's what I have to say about that. As a follow up to our recent class, I wanted to just emphasize that you want to go towards your human heart, even if things are rough, even if things are delicate or sad or depressing or whatever. Just go into it. Just go right into it bravely and calmly because you're going to be fine. I promise you, you're going to be fine. Don't be afraid. It builds courage, it builds strength. So don't be afraid. Um, Go into it and learn from your emotional human heartedness and see how that changes you. And I promise you that it'll really change and you'll start to see it happen quickly. That's what I like to teach is try to help you get there quickly. You don't have to spend a lifetime doing this. You can stop this the fear and anxiety and just relax and go into it and see how that might change you and see if that at least helps you at least contemplate having a better day, at least better than it was yesterday.